The sun rises like molten gold spilling over the endless horizon of the African plains. A hush lingers before dawn, the fragile silence of a world that is about to awaken. Then, almost imperceptibly, life begins to stir. A distant rumble rolls across the grasslands, not thunder, but the low-caw of elephants making their morning passage toward a watering hole. Their silhouettes shimmer against a rising sun, ancient and majestic, like living monuments carved by time itself. Dust rises beneath their slow, deliberate steps, turning the light into a golden haze that dances across the savannah. Every movement here feels sacred, as though each breath of wind, each flick of a tail, is part of a rhythm that has existed since the beginning of life. A pride of lions lies scattered beneath an acacia tree, their tawny coats almost indistinguishable from the earth. The matriarch lifts her head, eyes half-lidded yet alert. She watches the world without haste, the slow intelligence of a predator who has learned patience. Cubs tumble around her paws, soft and unsteady, their squeaks breaking the stillness. Not far away, zebras graze nervously, ears twitching, bodies tense. They can feel the lioness's gaze even when she does not move. This is the eternal dance of predator and prey, not born of cruelty, but of balance. The lions will hunt when the time is right. The zebras will run, swift and desperate, driven by the instinct to live. Both will play their parts in the great harmony of survival. Her posture, with clumsy grace. She senses movement. A young gazelle grazing too far from the herd. Muscles coil beneath her slender frame, every nerve alive with precision. When she moves, she is no longer flesh but motion, fluid, silent, unstoppable. The chase explodes across the plain in a blur of speed and dust, an art form of instinct and purpose. When it ends, the world falls silent again. The cubs will eat tonight, and the gazelle's sacrifice will feed life anew. In the savannah, beauty and tragedy coexist without contradiction. Farther across the plain, a herd of giraffes moves like shadows of ancient trees, their heads swaying in slow rhythm. They nibble at the highest branches, tongues curling around tender leaves, while oxpeckers flutter across their patterned necks. The giraffe's calmness contrasts with the ceaseless energy of the plains, a reminder that not all survival requires violence. A few meters away, a troop of baboons scampers between rocks and tall grass. Their calls echo through the valley, half play, half warning. A young baboon pauses, clutching a fruit to his chest, eyes wide with curiosity as a butterfly flutters near. For a fleeting moment, the jungle's harshness softens. Even here, innocence finds its place. By mid-morning, heat begins to shimmer on the horizon. The elephants reach the watering hole, their trunks lowering with the grace of ritual. Calves splash and trumpet joyfully, sending arcs of water into the air that catch the sunlight like liquid diamonds. Nearby, a rhinoceros drinks in silence, its armor-like hide scarred from battles past. Birds gather in brilliant flocks, lilac-breasted rollers, hornbills, and weavers constructing their intricate nests from blades of grass. Life converges here, drawn by the same need, bound by the same sun. Even the crocodile lurking beneath the muddy water plays its part, the patient shadow of death that keeps the system in balance. As the day deepens, the rhythm of the savannah changes. Shadows grow shorter. The air hums with insects. Wildebeests march across the plains in an endless, thundering line, the great migration that defines the heartbeat of Africa. Thousands upon thousands of hooves strike the earth in unison, a living river flowing across the land. Overhead, vultures circle, waiting for what nature will inevitably offer. Life here is not cruel, merely unflinching. Every creature is both giver and taker in a cycle that knows neither mercy nor malice, only necessity. When evening comes, the sky transforms into a masterpiece. Crimson and violet streaks spread across the heavens as herds settle, predators rise, and the first stars appear above the acacias. A lion's roar splits the air, deep, resonant, eternal. It echoes across valleys, through the tall grasses, over the silent gaze of watching antelope. It is a sound of power, of life claiming its place in the night. In the far distance, a leopard drags or kills up a tree, her eyes glowing like twin embers in the dusk. The savannah becomes a theater of silhouettes and shadows. beauty draped in danger, serenity veined with survival. As darkness falls completely, the world cools and quiets. Hyenas laugh under a silver moon, their cackles carried by the wind. The elephants sleep standing, the calves nestle between the towering legs of their mothers. The lions return to their rest, bellies full, cubs safe. Fireflies flicker near the water's edge, their lights reflecting in the still surface like fallen stars. Above, constellations burn bright and timeless, indifferent to the fleeting lives below. Yet every creature here, from the smallest insect to the mightiest elephant, is part of something infinite, a grand, silent story that began long before humans watched it and will continue long after. Here, beneath the endless African sky, life breathes in balance. Every sound, every shadow, every heartbeat belongs to the same ancient rhythm, the dawn of life itself. The savannah fades behind us, replaced by a living ocean of green. The air grows thick, moist, and heavy with the scent of rain and earth. The soundscape changes too. No longer open winds and distant roars, but a symphony of whispers, clicks, and songs that seem to rise from the very soil. This is the Amazon rainforest, the beating heart of the planet, where life breathes in endless forms, hidden and humming beneath the canopy. Here, light filters through layers of leaves and golden shafts, like ancient spirits descending through mist. Every drop of dew, every curling fern, every hum of wings carries a pulse of something eternal. A scarlet macaw bursts from the canopy in a blaze of color, its wings flashing crimson and cobalt against the emerald sky. It cries out sharply, a voice that echoes like laughter through the valley, and disappears into green depths again. Beneath it, a slow procession moves through the trees, a family of capybaras walking along the riverbank, their wet fur glistening in the dappled sunlight. They pause as a caiman slips silently through the water, its eyes breaking the surface like twin beads of glass. No one screams or flees. They simply exist side by side, bound by the same rhythm. Here, survival is not a battle, but a coexistence, a fragile peace maintained by ancient instinct. High above, howler monkeys call out, deep, resonant bellows that shake the air like rolling thunder. Their voices mark territory, love, and warning all at once, echoing through the dense maze of vines and branches. A mother monkey clings to her baby as they move from limb to limb, her movements sure and fluid despite the dizzying heights. Below, in the shadows, a jaguar moves unseen. Her rosette-patterned coat melts perfectly into the foliage. She steps silently, a phantom of the forest. Every muscle ripples beneath her golden fur, eyes sharp, calculating, yet calm. She is not hunting now. She is watching. This is her kingdom, a world of shadows and secrets, where every breath is part of an unseen dance between predator and prey. The rain begins without warning. It starts as a whisper, then builds into a downpour so sudden that the world disappears behind a curtain of silver. The sound is deafening, a million drops striking leaves, trunks, and river water in chaotic harmony. Frogs emerge from hidden pools, their croaks rising like songs in a temple. Bright green tree frogs cling to smooth bark, their eyes reflecting the dim light like tiny lanterns. Poison dart frogs, no bigger than a thumb, move across mossy stones, living jewels of turquoise, gold, and scarlet. Every creature here, no matter how small, holds a piece of the jungle's soul. As the rain eases, the forest breathes again. Steam rises from the ground, curling upward in ghostly spirals. Butterflies flutter from leaf to leaf, bloom morphos with wings like polished metal, delicate and impossible. Their flight is slow, almost meditative, as though they, too, are savoring the stillness after the storm. Deep in the undergrowth, an anteater searches for termites, its long snout moving through fallen logs like a soft brush. It moves with unhurried grace, completely at peace in this cathedral of life. Around it, leafcutter ants march in endless lines, each carrying a fragment of green. Together, they build a kingdom beneath the soil, a civilization unseen but essential. The river, swollen from the rain, glides through the forest like liquid glass. Beneath its surface, a world of mystery unfolds. Pink river dolphins glide gracefully, their pale forms ethereal in the brown water. They surface with a puff of mist, then vanish again with a flick of their tails. Fish shimmer like living shards of sunlight, darting through the roots of drowned trees. On the banks, a giant anaconda lies coiled, its body patterned like shadows and sunlight intertwined. It does not move. It does not need to. Time here flows differently, slower, older, deeper. Life waits patiently, trusting the rhythm that has guided it for millions of years. As dusk approaches, the forest transforms once more. The light dims to a soft amber glow, and the sounds grow louder, wilder. Cicadas begin their chorus, filling the air with a steady, vibrating hum. Bats take flight, slicing to the fading light, their wings whispering through the air. Fireflies begin to blink among the vines. Tiny stars scatter through the darkness. The jaguar emerges again, now a moving shadow under the moonlight. She drinks from the river, her reflection rippling across the surface. Around her, the jungle watches, always aware, always alive. Nothing here truly sleeps. The forest simply changes its rhythm, trading color for sound, movement for silence. Night in the Amazon is an experience of awe and humility. The canopy above glows faintly with bioluminescent fungi, and the river mirrors the sky, a sheet of liquid black, dotted with reflections of stars. Somewhere in the distance, a frog calls and another answers. The chorus spreads, filling the jungle with music that feels both ancient and immediate. Insects dance in the beams of moonlight. Spiders spin silver webs between the ferns, and a sloth slowly turns its head to watch a moth flutter past. Time stands still, as though the forest itself has taken a breath and held it. In the heart of this vast, living labyrinth, everything has a purpose. Death feeds life, rain feeds rivers, and silence feeds song. The Amazon is not just a place. It is a pulse, a heartbeat of the earth. Each tree holds memories of centuries. Each root connects life above and below. The macaws, the jaguar, the ants, the frogs, all part of the same invisible thread that ties the world together. If the savannah was the dawn of life, the rainforest is its heartbeat, wild, eternal, and breathtakingly alive. The world turns white. The emerald jungles fade into memory, replaced by an endless horizon of ice and silence. The Arctic stretches out like a frozen dream, vast, pure, and mercilessly beautiful. The air is thin and sharp, each breath visible as a wisp of mist that disappears almost as quickly as it forms. Beneath the pale light of the low sun, the land shimmers, snow, sea, and sky blending together until the edges of the world dissolve. This is the roof of the planet, where the laws of nature are rewritten in frost and wind. Here, survival is an act of grace, and beauty is born from the struggle against silence and cold. A polar bear emerges from the drifting snow, her massive form both terrifying and regal. Her fur, though white, gleams with subtle shades of gold under the slanting sun. She moves with the slow certainty of one who rules his realm, each step heavy yet silent on the crusted snow. Two cubs trail behind her, their smaller bodies stumbling over ridges, their breath coming out in tiny puffs. They are learning the ways of the ice, how to walk against the wind, how to scent seals to the frozen crust, how to survive in a world of endless white. Their mother pauses often, sniffing the air, her black nose twitching. She can smell both danger and hope miles away, the faint, sweet scent of life beneath the ice. Far across the tundra, the wind howls. It carries the voices of the unseen, the groaning of glaciers, the cracking of distant ice floes, the faint cry of gulls circling over open water. Time here seems to move slower, stretched by the weight of silence. The bear mother leads her cubs toward the coast, where the frozen ocean meets the shifting land. Here the ice breathes, expanding and cracking with the tides, its fractures forming jagged blue veins that glow beneath the pale sun. She knows this place well. Beneath the frozen sheet, ringed seals rest, surfacing through breathing holes to take in air. She waits, patient, motionless, as snowflakes settle on her fur like stars. Minutes stretch into hours. The cubs curl beside her, learning that in the Arctic, survival belongs to those who understand patience. When the moment comes, it is swift and silent. A seal rises to the hole, and in one motion, the bear's massive paw strikes. The stillness explodes into motion, ice, blood, and snow scattering into the air. It is brutal but necessary. The cubs approach hesitantly, guided by instinct. Their mother feeds first, then nudges the prey toward them. The cubs eat, their faces stained with red against the white. Life here is not cruel. It is honest. Every meal, every breath, is a victory wrested from a frozen silence. The Arctic gives nothing freely, but to those who endure, it grants strength, wisdom, and awe. As the day wanes, the light changes. The sun never truly sets here. Instead, it dips low and lingers, casting a golden glow across the endless ice. The landscape transforms into a world of fire and glass, orange and pink light, reflecting off frozen ridges and rippling water. Arctic foxes dart across the snow, their coats blending perfectly with their surroundings. One pauses, sniffing, its eyes glinting like amber. It moves gracefully, leaving tiny footprints that the wind will soon erase. Above, a pair of snowy owls glide silently through the amber air, their wings cutting through the stillness like whispers. They hunt for lemmings beneath the drifts, their movements as precise as the ticking of a clock. Every creature here is part of the same quiet rhythm, the music of survival played in a minor key. Out on the sea ice, a pod of narwhal surfaces through a patch of open water. Their long, spiraled tusks glisten with frost, glinting like ancient swords beneath the low sun. They exhale mist into the cold air, then dive again, their bodies vanishing into the depths. Nearby, a group of beluga whales glides beneath the ice, their white forms glowing faintly in the blue. They communicate in clicks and whistles, a language older than human memory, echoing through the water like a secret song. These sounds, barely audible above the ice, travel for miles, the music of a frozen sea alive beneath its shimmering shell. Night falls slowly in the Arctic, but when it comes, it brings with it one of nature's greatest miracles. The sky erupts in color. Ribbons of green and violet shimmer across the heavens, twisting and dancing in silence. The aurora borealis, the northern lights, weaves its spell across the frozen world. The bear mother looks up for a moment, her dark eyes reflecting the sky's fire. Around her, the cubs play in the snow, unaware of the spectacle above, their laughter swallowed by the wind. In this moment, time feels suspended, the ancient and the innocent, the eternal and the fleeting, coexisting beneath a sky alive with light. Far to the east, along the edge of the ice, a herd of caribou moves through the snow, their hooves breaking through the crust with rhythmic crunches. Their migration stretches for hundreds of miles, a journey through storms, hunger, and freezing winds. Yet they move forward, always forward, driven by instinct older than the mountains. Wolves follow at a distance, their gray forms barely visible against the pale terrain. They are not enemies, but participants in the same endless cycle. When one caribou stumbles, the wolves close in, swift and merciful. The herd continues, the wolves feed, and the Arctic remains balanced, untouched by pity, governed only by nature's quiet fairness. In the rare stillness between the storms, the world feels infinite. Stars burn brighter here, as though the cold sharpens their light. The ice creaks beneath its own weight, shifting like a living creature in its sleep. The wind hums through frozen valleys, carried with the distant cries of life unseen. Seals, foxes, birds, and whales, all threads in the same fragile tapestry. Here, at the top of the world, existence is distilled to its purest form, breath, hunger, endurance, and beauty. There are no walls, no borders, no noise, only the whispers of the north, speaking in a language older than time itself. As dawn returns, the first light paints the ice in hues of rose and gold. The bear mother and her cubs rise again, pressing onward across the frozen expanse. Behind them, the wind erases their footprints, as if they had never been. Yet their story remains, written not in words, but in survival, in the quiet courage of life against the impossible. In the Arctic wilderness, every heartbeat is a miracle, every breath a triumph. And though it may seem empty, the north is full of spirit, of silence, and of whispers that sing softly to the soul of the world. The surface ripples like liquid glass, sunlight scattering across the water in shards of gold. Then, with one slow breath, the world tilts and you sink beneath the waves, into a realm where gravity loosens its hold and color itself seems reborn. The noise of the wind fades away, replaced by a deep, rolling silence broken only by the distant hum of currents and the rhythmic pulse of the sea. Here, beneath the ocean's skin, life exists in forms so delicate and dazzling they defy belief. This is a coral reef, Earth's underwater cathedral, a living city built from limestone and light. Every inch of the reef teems with motion. Tiny damselfish dart through the coral towers, flashes of blue and yellow weaving through crevices like sparks. Parrotfish glide by, their beaks scraping the coral surface to feed, painting the water with drifting clouds of white dust. The coral itself breathes, its polyps opening and closing in slow rhythm, a vast organism pulsing quietly beneath the waves. Sunbeams pierce the surface in columns, shimmering through the clear water like divine pillars. Within their glow, thousands of lives move in perfect balance, unseen by most yet vital to all. A green sea turtle drifts into view, ancient and serene. Her flippers slice through the water with effortless grace. She moves as if time itself has slowed to match her pace. Algae cling to her shell, tiny ecosystems traveling with her as she navigates through canyons of coral. Small wrasses swim alongside, cleaning parasites from her skin. It is a partnership older than history, a pact of mutual survival beneath the waves. She pauses above a bed of seagrass, taking a slow bite, her eyes calm, her movements deliberate. When she exhales, bubbles rise to the surface, catching the sunlight and vanishing like golden ghosts. Not far away, a school of barracuda flashes through the open water. They move as one, a silver wall that bends and ripples in unison, muscles flickering with metallic light. Then, from the deeper blue, a shadow appears, a reef shark. Sleek, silent, purposeful. It glides through the coral lanes with the confidence of a ruler inspecting its kingdom. The smaller fish scatter, but the shark does not pursue. It is not hunger that drives it now, only the endless circuit patrol. In the coral world, predators and prey coexist in an equilibrium as precise as the tides. The deeper you go, the light softens into indigo, the water cools and new shapes emerge. Sea fans sway in the current like underwater forests, their branches catching plankton as it drifts by. A pair of clownfish dances near an anemone, their orange bodies glowing against the pale tentacles. They weave in and out of the stinging arms unharmed, protected by a fragile layer of mucus that marks them as allies. Together they defend their home, their entire world contained within a patch of living coral no larger than a dinner plate. In their tiny universe, every movement matters. Every decision carries weight. The reef is vast, yet each inhabitant lives as if the whole ocean depends on them. And, in a way, it does. Farther along the reef's edge, the terrain changes. A drop-off yawns suddenly beneath, descending into deep blue infinity. The sunlight fades to silver, then to sapphire. From the shadows below, a manta ray rises. Its wings stretch wider than a man is tall, moving with silent majesty. It glides upward in slow spirals, trailing a constellation of cleaner fish. Each stroke of its fin stirs the sand, creating soft clouds that drift like smoke in a cathedral. The manta turns once in the shaft of sunlight, its pale belly glowing as if carved from moonlight, then vanishes again into the depths. Watching it feels like witnessing a dream, the embodiment of grace and motion. Above the coral gardens, life hums in quieter forms. Jellyfish drift by, translucent and eternal, their bells pulsing with hypnotic rhythm. They glow faintly, colors shifting with the light. Pink, violet, pale gold, as if the sea itself is breathing through them. A seahorse clings to a strand of coral, its tail curled tight, its body rocking with the current like a leaf in wind. Tiny shrimps move across its skin, grooming, feeding, sharing its fragile world. Every creature here, no matter how small, plays a role in the delicate machinery of the ocean, a living clockwork powered by sunlight and tide. As evening approaches above the waves, the reef transforms. The sun's rays grow slanted and red, igniting the corals in a final burst of brilliance. Then darkness sweeps in from the deep. The day dwellers retreat into cracks and caves. The night creatures awaken. Octopuses slip from their hiding places, their skin shifting colors as they glide through the dark. Their tentacles explore, tasting and feeling the world with infinite sensitivity. Bioluminescent plankton begin to glow, tiny blue sparks swirling with the currents. The reef becomes a galaxy beneath the sea, stars drifting instead of burning, light made liquid. A moray eel peers from its hole, jaws opening and closing in slow rhythm. Its eyes gleam faintly as a passing squid flashes by, its body changing colors in bursts, red, blue, silver, communication in light. The squid jets away, vanishing into the void. In its wake, the plankton shimmer and fade like footprints that glow before they disappear. The sea breathes, the reef listens, and everything moves according to an invisible harmony, one that needs no sound to be heard. In the distance, a humpback whale's song drifts through the dark water, long, mournful, magnificent. The notes rise and fall like the voice of the earth itself, vibrating through the bones of coral and stone. It is both lullaby and lament, a hymn to the vastness of the sea. The turtle stirs, the fish pause, and for a heartbeat, all motion ceases, as if every living thing is listening. Then the song fades into the blue, carried away by currents to places unseen. When dawn returns, light pierces the surface once more. The reef awakens in color and motion, as though the night never happened. Life continues, fragile, flawless, unending. The coral stretches toward the sun. The fish resume their dance, and the turtle glides onward to the open sea. From above, the ocean appears empty. From within, it contains worlds upon worlds, a kingdom of miracles hidden just beneath the waves. In this world of silence and shimmer, there is no greed, no waste, no pause. Only rhythm, only balance. The reef breathes in time with the tides, echoing the pulse of the planet itself. And for those who listen closely, the water speaks, a whisper of unity, a reminder that life, in all its forms, is most beautiful when it moves together. The world above the waves dissolves into sunlight once more, and as the water dries from our vision, it is replaced by gold, endless gold. The desert stretches to infinity, a sea of sand sculpted by wind and time. The air shimmers with heat. The horizon dances like a mirage, always out of reach. Here, silence reigns supreme, yet within it lives an orchestra of subtle sound, the hiss of shifting dunes, the whisper of the wind, the rustle of scales beneath the sand. It is a landscape of extremes, where life survives not by abundance but by wisdom. The desert is not empty. It is disciplined, sacred, eternal. At dawn, the light rises cold and pure, spilling over dunes shaped like frozen waves. The air still holds the chill of night. In that fragile hour before the sun ignites the land, the first signs of life emerge. A fennec fox steps lightly over the sand, its enormous ears twitching to catch even the faintest rustle. Its fur glows pale silver in the morning light, blending with the dunes. Every movement is delicate. Survival here requires silence. The fox pauses, nose twitching, then digs swiftly, sand flying behind it. A beetle wriggles free, only to vanish between sharp teeth. The fox eats, then lifts its head again, staring into the horizon where the dunes meet the sky. It is alone, yet not lonely, in the desert. Solitude is companionship. Not far away, the sun begins to burn. The chill lifts, replaced by waves of heat that shimmer across the land. From a shelter of rocky outcrop, a herd of Arabian oryx emerges. White coats gleaming, horns like twin blades carved from ivory. They move together in silent grace, leaving faint prints that the wind will soon erase. Their eyes, dark and steady, hold the wisdom of countless generations that have known thirst, hunger, and endurance. They walk toward the horizon, guided by memory, ancient paths carved into instinct, leading to places where water still sleeps beneath the sand. The oryx are symbols of patience, of dignity and hardship. They drink rarely, yet their hearts beat strong, a testament to the resilience of life. Above, a falcon rides the thermal winds, wings spread wide. It glides effortlessly, a silhouette of freedom against a white-hot sky. From that height, it sees everything: the shifting dunes, the faint trails of animals, the movement of shadows that betray life below. Then it dives. The air splits with cry as it falls. Faster, sharper, truer than any arrow. In seconds, it strikes. A small lizard disappears beneath its talons. The falcon returns to the sky, victorious and silent. There is no cruelty here, no malice, only the simplicity of existence stripped to its essence. The falcon is not hunter by choice, but by design, its precision a form of art honed by nature itself. As the sun climbs higher, the desert transforms into a furnace. The sand glows like metal, and the air quivers. Most creatures retreat underground, into burrows beneath rocks, inside the cool shadows of time. A spiny lizard lies motionless, conserving energy, its scales glinting faintly. A snake slides silently across the dunes, its movement leaving a delicate calligraphy behind. Its body glides in rhythm with the wind, its tongue tasting heat and direction. Even here, beauty lives in motion, fluid, precise, ephemeral. Above the dunes, heat waves twist the light into illusions, lakes that aren't there, mountains that melt into air. The desert plays tricks, not to deceive but to remind, that vision is never truth, and truth is often unseen. At midday, the world stands still, the wind dies, the silence deepens until it feels alive, pressing, humming, eternal. Time seems to stop, the sun frozen at its zenith. It is in this stillness that the true power of the desert is revealed, not in motion, but in endurance. Each grain of sand has traveled centuries. Each dune is a sculpture carved by patience. To the untrained eye, it is lifeless. To the desert itself, it is memory. Fossils buried beneath the dunes speak of oceans long vanished, forests turned to dust, creatures that lived and faded. The sand remembers everything, the breath of ancient winds, the rhythm of vanished waves. In its silence, it keeps the planet's oldest secrets. When evening comes, the light softens again. The sun dips low, painting the dunes in shades of amber, rose, and violet. The wind returns, gentle and forgiving, reshaping the land grain by grain. Shadows lengthen, and with them, life stirs once more. The fennec fox returns to hunt. Beetles crawl from burrows, leaving trails like fine script in sand. The oryx find a shallow valley, where sparse grass clings to life. They feed quietly, horns glowing in the twilight. Above them, the falcon returns to its perch, feathers ruffled by the cooling air. For the first time since dawn, the desert breathes easy. The heat fades, and the land exhales its warmth into the darkening sky. Night in the desert is unlike any other. The stars come out by the thousands, unfiltered, blazing with ancient fire. The Milky Way arches overhead like a silver river, every constellation sharp against the black. The dunes, pale under moonlight, seem to glow from within. The silence deepens again, no longer oppressive, but tender. Somewhere an owl calls. A snake shifts in its sleep. The wind hums softly, shaping new ridges in sand. It is a music of stillness, a symphony of time. The desert, so harsh by day, becomes gentle by night, a world of reflection and peace. Under the moon, the oryx rests. The fox curls in its den, tail over nose. The falcon dreams on its perch, the stars mirrored in its eyes. All around them, the sand moves imperceptibly, flowing like water, reshaping the world in silence. By morning, the dunes will be different, not changed by violence, but by persistence. That is the desert's way. It teaches without words, creates without noise, endures without witness. To survive here is to understand humility. That power is not in possession, but in patience. The desert does not rush. It has no need to. Time itself kneels before it. The dunes rise and fall like the breath of the earth, slow, measured, eternal. And in that rhythm, life finds harmony. Here, in this vast emptiness, beauty is distilled to its purest form. Light, shadow, wind, and silence. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is forgotten. The desert's voice is soft but infinite, a whisper carried by the sands of time. The golden dunes fade into mist, and the earth begins to rise, folding, lifting, reaching for the sky. The air grows cooler, thinner, filled with the faint scent of pine and stone. Clouds drift like rivers, wrapping around colossal peaks that pierce the heavens. This is the roof of the world, the Himalayas, a kingdom of silence and strength, where the earth's bones are laid bare and the air hums with sacred stillness. Every mountain is a monument, every gust of wind a hymn. Here, life clings to the edges of the impossible. At dawn, the first light touches the highest peaks, turning snow into fire. The glaciers catch flame beneath the sun, glowing with hues of rose and gold. The valley below remains in shadow, a sea of frost and stone. Slowly, the light descends, awakening the land. From crevices between rocks, mountain hares emerge, their white coats blending seamlessly with the snow. They nibble on sparse shoots, always alert, for predators lurk even in this frozen silence. The air is sharp. Every breath feels like glass. Every sound echoes as though the mountains themselves are listening. A shadow moves across the ridge, silent, graceful, unseen until it wishes to be. The snow leopard, ghost of the Himalayas, prowls with quiet precision. Its fur is a masterpiece of camouflage, pale silver, dusted with smoky rosettes, perfectly mirroring the terrain. Its eyes, cold yet alive, glimmer like green fire beneath the sun. Each step is poetry, each pause deliberate. The leopard's world is solitude, its life a dance between hunger and patience. It hunts not often, but perfectly. When it moves, the mountain seems to move with it. One spirit, one rhythm, one breath. Down in the valleys, where melted snow becomes streams, the landscape softens. Pine forests spread across the slopes, whispering with wind and hidden life. Red pandas move among the branches, flashes of russet fur against dark green leaves. Their movements are gentle, almost shy, as they balance on thin limbs and nibble on tender bamboo shoots. Their eyes are curious, their faces marked by innocence. To them, the mountain is not harsh, but home, a sanctuary woven with quiet wonders. A mother panda climbs higher, her cub clinging to her back. Together, they vanish into the canopy, leaving behind only a trembling branch. The streams grow into rivers, cutting silver paths through valleys carpeted with wildflowers. Blue poppies, yellow primrose, crimson rhododendron. Yaks graze nearby, their shaggy coats swaying with each breath of wind. Their hums echo softly, deep and resonant, as if in conversation with the mountain itself. Beside them, a shepherd walks, wrapped in woolen time, his eyes bright and ancient. He carries a staff polished by decades of use. He does not speak to his herd, yet they follow, trusting the rhythm of his steps. In this world, words are unnecessary. Life here is measured not by clocks, but by seasons, not by progress, but by peace. As the day matures, clouds gather around the summits, heavy and white. Thunder murmurs like a distant drum. The wind rises, carrying whispers from unseen valleys. A golden eagle takes flight, vast wings slicing through the thin air. It soars higher and higher, until even the peaks seem beneath it. Its cry rings through the emptiness, sharp, pure, eternal. From that height, it sees the endless folds of the mountains, the forest below, the rivers winding like veins of light. It circles once, twice, then dives, a streak of power, grace, and will. The eagle is the mountain's heart given wings. Higher still, above the line where trees can no longer grow, life takes on other forms. Tiny mosses and lichens cling to stone. Snow finches flit between rocks, their feathers scattering frost like dust. The wind here is thin and holy. It strips the world of all excess, leaving only truth, rock, air, and sky. There are no cities, no noise, no haste. Only breath, only presence. Every sound feels amplified, sacred. The crack of ice, the cry of a bird, the whisper of snow against stone. To stand here is to understand how small one is, and how vast life can be. Then comes the storm. It rises without warning, sweeping across the ridges like a living thing. Snow falls in curtains, blurring the world into shades of white and silence. The wind howls through the passes, sculpting drifts and spirals. The snow leopard takes refuge beneath an overhang, for dusted with frost. The red pandas curl into nests, tails wrapped tight. Even the eagle finds shelter among the cliffs. The storm rages for hours, relentless, beautiful, cleansing. When it finally passes, the mountains emerge renewed, shining like silver beneath the sun. What was harsh becomes holy again. As twilight descends, the world turns blue. The peaks fade into silhouettes, and mist rises from the valleys. The shepherd lights a small fire, its glow flickering against a stone. His yaks gather close, their breath visible in the chill air. Above, the stars begin to appear. First one, then 1,000. They spill across the heavens like scattered diamonds, mirrored faintly in the frozen lakes below. Somewhere in the distance, a prayer bell rings, its echo long and haunting. The mountains, ancient and unmoving, seem to listen. The night here does not fall. It settles gently, like a blessing. In this silence, the earth breathes. The glacier groans softly as it shifts, its slow movement marking time older than history. A snow leopard walks the ridgeline, silhouetted against the moon. The shepherd closes his eyes, feeling the pulse of the mountain beneath his feet. Every sound, every shadow, every flicker of wind is alive with purpose. Here, nothing is wasted. Here, life and death, storm and calm, hunger and peace, all are part of the same song. The Himalayas do not speak, yet they teach. They remind the world that power need not shout, that endurance can be quiet, that majesty lies not in dominance but in balance. They are the guardians of time, the keepers of silence, the sacred heart of the earth. And as dawn prepares to return, painting the peaks in fire once more, one truth becomes clear. The mountain is not a place to conquer, but to understand. Here, in the thin air between heaven and earth, life is pure and the soul feels infinite. Above mountains and oceans, beyond jungles and deserts, lies another kingdom, vast, invisible, boundless. It has no walls, no borders, no limits. It is the sky, a living ocean of air where color, sound, and motion unite in an endless dance. This is the realm of the birds, the sky dancers, the dreamers of the earth. From the tiniest hummingbird to the mighty albatross, from the quiet sparrow in the city to the regal eagle of the cliffs, each carries a story written in feathers and flight. Their wings do not merely lift them, they lift the soul of the planet. At dawn, when the world still lies half in shadow, the sky awakens first. A single chirp pierces the silence, soft, hesitant, like the first note of a song long forgotten. Then another joins, and another, until the air itself vibrates with music. It is the dawn chorus, a universal symphony performed by thousands of species in countless languages, yet all sharing one purpose: to welcome the light. In the rainforest, parrots call from emerald canopies. In the savannah, weavers flutter around acacia trees. On icy cliffs, puffins stir from their burrows. The rising sun turns their feathers to fire. Reds, blues, golds, and silvers gleam as if the sky itself is rejoicing. A swallow takes flight, slicing through the morning air with effortless grace. Its wings curve like blades of silk, its tail forked for perfect maneuvering. It dips and turns, tracing invisible patterns in the wind. For the swallow, motion is joy. Every gust of air is a melody to follow. Nearby, a flock of starlings begins to gather, hundreds at first, then thousands moving as one. Their murmuration rises like smoke, then folds, ripples, and swirls in shapes that defy logic. A single body made of many hearts, guided by instinct alone. To watch them is to witness the living choreography of unity, nature's most perfect ballet. Far away, over the ocean, another dancer rides the horizon. The albatross, wings stretching nearly 12 feet wide, glides for hours without a single beat. It sleeps as it flies, dreaming on the wind. The sea below rolls endlessly, but the albatross is unbound, belonging to no shore, no storm, no season. It has circled the earth more times than any human traveler. To it, the world is not divided by continents, but connected by wind. Its journey is long, silent, eternal, a meditation in motion. In the wetlands, the story is different but no less profound. A pair of flamingos stands knee-deep in shimmering water, their pink feathers glowing like dawn reflected in living form. They move in synchrony, heads dipping, legs stepping, wings opening like petals. Around them, thousands more join, their mirrored movements turning the shallow lake into a sea of color and grace. When they take off, the sound of their wings fills the air like applause. The water ripples with the memory of their beauty long after they've gone. In the high Arctic, another kind of miracle unfolds. Snowy owls glide silently over frozen tundra, their white feathers blending with the snow. Their yellow eyes pierce through the twilight, searching, calculating. Every movement is deliberate, every silence heavy with meaning. When the owl strikes, it is swift and precise, life and death balanced in a moment's grace. Yet when it lands, it seems almost weightless, as if the world itself bows in reverence. The owl teaches that silence can be as powerful as sound, and patience as strong as flight. In tropical skies, macaws scream across canyons, a burst of color and sound against green cliffs. Their feathers blaze with red, cobalt, and gold, each one a fragment of sunlight brought to life. They fly in pairs, their calls echoing to the trees like laughter. Macaws mate for life, their bond so deep that when one dies, the other often lingers nearby, calling to the empty air. Love in the world of birds is not just instinct. It is devotion, loud, fierce, and loyal. Elsewhere, in the still waters of an African delta, a kingfisher perches on a branch. Its feathers shimmer with electric blue and orange. It waits, unmoving, eyes fixed on the surface below. The world around it disappears. Then, in a blur of motion, it dives, piercing the water like an arrow of light. When it rises, a fish glitters in its beak. Precision, patience, perfection. In that instant, the kingfisher becomes a living jewel, proof that even in smallness, there can be majesty. As afternoon fades to dusk, migration begins. Across continents, across oceans, millions of wings fill the air. Cranes rise from wetlands in long, elegant formations. Geese form perfect V-shapes against a fading sun. Tiny warblers begin their impossible journeys across seas. Guided by the stars, by magnetism, by memories older than civilization, they move towards safety, warmth, and new beginnings. Some will not make it. Storms will take them, hunger will claim them, exhaustion will silence their songs, but still they fly. Because to fly is not just survival. It is faith. It is trust in the unseen. As night falls, the sky becomes a quiet cathedral. The stars return, and beneath their cold fire, nocturnal wings stir. Bats emerge, their flight erratic yet purposeful, painting invisible arcs through the dark. Owls resume their vigil. Nightjars sing their soft, mournful calls, voices of the unseen. The world below sleeps, but the air remains alive with whispers and motion. High above, where even air seems to vanish, the last light catches a silhouette, the eagle. Its wings spread wide as it glides along the edge of the wind. It has watched every world we visited. The savannah, the jungle, the ocean, the mountain, the desert, from its eternal throne in the sky. Its feathers gleam bronze beneath the stars, and its cry echoes through the night like a memory of fire. The eagle does not belong to any one place. It belongs to freedom itself. The birds remind us that the earth is not flat or bound or divided. It is a sphere of connection, a shared home where every wind carries a story. To watch them is to remember what it means to move, to change, to trust the invisible. Each wing beat is a prayer, each migration a promise. That life endures, that beauty travels, that even the smallest heart can cross the widest sky. As dawn prepares to return once more, the horizon glows pale gold. The first songbird stirs in the darkness, its tiny voice trembling with new light. The world breathes in, and for a moment, every wing on earth seems to move together. The air shimmers, the sky opens, and life, once again, takes flight. From the blue of the sky to the green of the forest, from the golden dunes to the silver peaks, the world turns. Slowly, patiently, eternally, the light that once touched the African plains now falls upon distant seas. The same wind that carried the scent of the jungle now dances across Arctic ice. Every life, every sound, every motion, all are bound by the same invisible thread. The earth is not divided. It is woven. It breathes as one vast being, pulsing with rhythm and harmony. As dawn begins again somewhere over the Pacific, the ocean stirs. Waves roll against coral reefs alive with color, blues that shimmer like jewels, reds that burn like flame. Tiny fish dart among anemones, their scales reflecting morning light like fragments of glass. A sea turtle glides gracefully through the shallows, its every movement slow and deliberate, as though it understands the sacredness of the moment. Above, a dolphin leaps, slicing through the surface in a flash of silver. Its splash catches a light, scattering across the sea. The water sings with motion, whispering of beginnings that never end. Far inland, the savannah awakens once more. The lions stretch beneath the rising sun, manes glinting gold. Elephants move in silent procession toward a watering hole, their young walking between them, protected by gentle giants. Birds lift into the air, wings glowing against the dawn. The land is ancient, yet always new, reborn with each sunrise. The zebras graze, the gazelles leap, the wind carries dust and life alike. Every breath is a continuation of what came before, every heartbeat an echo of the first. In the jungle, rain begins to fall, a soft, steady rhythm like the world's own heartbeat. It falls on leaves, on vines, on the backs of jaguars and frogs, on the rivers that wind through emerald shadow. The forest drinks deeply, exhaling mist that rises like smoke. In that mist, countless forms of life awaken. Insects with wings like stained glass, monkeys swinging between branches, orchids blooming in secret corners. The rain connects them all, from root to canopy, from predator to prey, each dependent on the other, each a note in nature's grand symphony. Across the planet, the desert stirs. The dunes, carved by time, glow in the morning light. The oryx raise their heads, ears twitching. A beetle climbs a ridge of sand, leaving tiny prints that vanish moments later. The desert fox emerges from its burrow, eyes bright, tail brushing golden dust. Though it seems barren, the desert is alive in its own rhythm, slower, quieter, yet no less profound. Its beauty lies not in abundance, but in endurance. Even here, life finds a way to dance to the earth's eternal song. High above, the mountains stand silent, their peaks catching the same sunlight that touches the seas and the plains below. The snow leopard prowls the ridge, invisible yet eternal. An eagle circles, wings gliding through air thinner than breath. The wind sighs through the pines, carrying the faint chime of distant prayer bells. To stand here is to feel the heartbeat of the world beneath one's feet, slow, deep, unending. Time itself seems to pause, listening. Then, as the day grows, we rise once more into the open sky. From this height, the earth is breathtaking, a swirl of blue, white, green, gold, spinning silently through the void. Clouds drift like thoughts, rivers glint like veins of light. Lightning flashes deep within storms that coil across continents. Yet, from above, there is no conflict, no boundary, only motion and connection. The forests breathe out oxygen. The oceans breathe it in. The deserts radiate heat. The ice reflects it back. Every element, every creature, every gust of wind plays its part in this perfect balance. The circle continues into twilight. The sun sinks beyond the horizon, setting the sky ablaze, crimson, amber, violet. Shadows stretch long across plains and oceans alike. Wolves begin to sing to the moon. Whales call through the depths. Night-blooming flowers open their pale faces to the starlight. The world exhales, trading the energy of day for the calm of night. Yet even now, life does not rest. It only changes form. Nocturnal eyes glow in the dark. The air fills with whispers, calls, and rustling. Even in sleep, the planet dreams. As night deepens, the stars return, silent, infinite witnesses to Earth's eternal motion. From space, the planet glows faintly, wrapped in a thin layer of blue, fragile, luminous, alive. Every forest, every desert, every ocean, every wing, every paw, every leaf contributes to that glow. The Earth is not just a home. It is a living being, breathing and evolving with every passing moment. Its rhythm is a rhythm of time itself. The rise and fall of tides, the change of seasons, the pulse of hearts that beat in harmony. Somewhere, a child looks up at the stars, the reflection of Earth's beauty shining in their eyes. They do not yet know the names of all the creatures or the science behind the skies, but they feel it, that invisible bond between everything that lives and everything that breathes. That is the truth of this world, that we are not separate from nature, but part of it. Each of us is a note in its music, a color in its painting, a breath in its endless song. And as dawn begins again, light spilling across oceans and mountains and forests, the circle continues. Life rises, moves, feeds, sings, sleeps, dreams, and rises again. The same sun, the same wind, the same heartbeat, forever renewed, forever ancient. The earth does not simply exist. It performs every moment, every movement. Every creature is part of a magnificent dance that began long before us and will continue long after. The screen fades to gold. The music swells. A blend of ocean, wind, bird call, and heartbeat. The final image lingers, a drop of water falling from a leaf, captured in sunlight, reflecting the whole world within it. The narrator whispers, soft and timeless. We are the watchers, the witnesses, the children of this living earth. Every breath we take is borrowed from the wind. Every step we walk is written on her skin. Protect her, love her, remember her, for she remembers you. And as the last note fades, the earth spins on, silent, beautiful, alive. The eternal circle of harmony,